Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Have a seat, make yourself comfortable. Well, it is a summer Sunday morning. It doesn't get any better than this. I'm so happy that all of you guys are here today. Thank you so much for coming out. We're in a steamy new series called Faithful Attraction. And we're talking about relationships, and we're basing it on the Song of Solomon in the Bible. Now, you know, we got a lot of young people in this church. We got a lot of teenagers, a lot of 20-somethings. And I just want you to know, if you're a teenager, I'm the man you want to listen to. All right, because I'm just here to tell you this morning that I am the expert when it comes to all things involving dating, the universal laws of attraction, and just raw animal magnetism. So teenagers, let me just explain to you how awesome I was when I was like your age, okay? So first of all, the very first date I ever went on, I think it was to the movies. And you got to picture this. The girl was like 6 inches taller than me. And at that point in my life, every girl was 6 inches taller than me. So we're at this movie, the lights go down, I'm ready to make my big move. Now, my big goal for the night was to see if I could get my arm around this girl. That was it right there. So the lights are down, and I'm thinking I'm going to do one of those, the classic yawn technique, where you go like, oh, exactly, you're a master yourself, just like I am, huh? But I chickened out, I couldn't do it, I was too afraid. I lacked confidence. So then I thought, I know what I'll do, I'll get popcorn. And then when I go to sit down, I can just kind of slide in next to her, put the popcorn there, and slide my arm around her. I chickened out again. So finally, the movie is almost over, and I'm thinking, I can't miss this opportunity. I've got to make my big move right now. So I thought to myself, I'm just going to count to 3 and go for it. So in my mind, I'm like, 1, 2, 3, and then I did it with tremendous boldness and confidence. I whipped my arm back around her like this, and in fact, I moved with such force and confidence that I misjudged my approach, and I whacked her with my elbow right in the nose. Her head went flying back like she was in an auto accident or something. So, and you know what? My wife tells me that to this very day, I continue to make women uncomfortable when they're close to me. Well, I just want you to know, I want you to understand as we go into this, I'm the man you want to listen to. Today, however, we're going to get our advice from the Bible, not from Jeffrey. We're working our way through the Song of Solomon, and Solomon once said this. He said, there's a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. In other words, there's an appropriate time and place for everything. And we need to remember when it comes to relationships that our relationships are going to go through seasons. And we're going to experience different things in each of those seasons. Now, if you're a couple, I want to help you know where you've been and where you're headed. If you're a single person, I want you to know what to expect in each stage. So first of all, when you're talking about your life, when you're looking at your life, you'll have a season of preparation. A season of preparation. Now, this young girl in the story, the Bible story, who fell in love with Solomon understood this. She sensed it. She said, see, the winter is past. The rains are over and gone. Flowers appear on the earth. The season of singing has come. Now, what is she saying? Winter is finally over and spring is here. Now, if you remember from last week, we said that she was a person who worked in the vineyards, and so she was very in tune with the seasonal changes and things. For example, if you walked around in a vineyard in the middle of the wintertime, you would say everything just looked dead. There was nothing going on there. The leaves were all brown and off of the vines. But what's really happening is in Israel, that's the rainy season. And so beneath the surface, there's a lot going on at that time. It's the season of preparation where the roots are kind of extending themselves beneath the soil, and they're absorbing all the water they can and taking in all the nutrients that they can. So when the growth season comes, they're prepared to enjoy it, make the most of it. Now, many of you in your life right now, you may be in that kind of season right now. When it comes to relationships, you may think there's not a lot going on right now. I don't see anything happening in my life. Well, think of it as a season of preparation. Someone may walk up to you and say, dude, not seen anybody. Not a lot going on. Looks pretty dead in your life right now. No, you just smile and you think to yourself, no, I'm in a season of preparation right now. There's a lot going on beneath the surface. And I'm just getting ready for the good things that God is going to bring into my life. And remember, when God wants to give you something new in your life, He's got to prepare you for it. You cannot have a spring without going through a winter. I heard about this one young man. He was in his mid-20s, and he was not a follower of Christ. And so it's kind of like if God said, don't do this in a relationship, he did it. And if God said, do this, and you'll have a healthy, happy relationship, he didn't do it. And as a result of that, by the time he was like 26 years old, he was a very wounded, broken young man. Finally, he kind of gave up trying to do life his own way, and he said, I'm going to become a follower of Christ. I'm going to get my act together with God. And he decided, in terms of dating, that he decided he's going to take an entire year off and not date anybody. He said, you know what? I just need to get my own act together before I involve myself with anybody else. And so what he did is he dedicated every Saturday night for an entire year to God. He said, it's going to be my date night with God. Now, I'm not saying you should do something that radical, that extreme in your life, although it probably isn't the worst thing you could do. But on Saturday nights, he would read books about love and relationships and dating. He would read the Bible, trying to get in touch with the heart of God. And as he learned things about himself and about what he wanted for the future, he began to write letters to the woman who would one day be his wife. Now, he didn't have any idea who it would be. But he wrote her these love letters. He wrote her these promises. He wrote to her about the kind of man he was and what he wanted to be for her. And eventually, he saved up an entire box, a shoebox, full of these love letters to his future wife. Well, a few years later, he met somebody. They fell in love. Finally, he proposed to her. And when she said yes, he said, well, then, I got this whole box of letters that I want to give to you. I guess I've been writing to you for 10 years or 5 years or whatever. All this time I didn't know it was going to be you, but now I've met you, so I guess these are all to you. And she loved getting all of that. Now they're very, very happy, and they've been married for years, and they have like 5 kids. But he says this. He says, the joy I have in my marriage now is a direct result of that season of preparation. Because let me tell you something. And let me tell you something that you should never forget. Having a great marriage isn't so much about finding the right person as it is about becoming the right person. And if you will become the right person, if you will become the best person you can be, you're more likely to attract the right person, the best person. Don't get discouraged if you're not there right now. There's a time and a season for everything. The first thing is you're going to have a season of preparation. And then the second thing is this. You're going to have a season of perfection. Now, maybe you've been through this before. This is kind of fun. A season of perfection. That's when you meet someone and you're like, this person is perfect. I have never met somebody like this. This person is perfect in every way. And suddenly, all the love songs on the radio begin to make sense to you. And all of a sudden, you want to buy every Hallmark card there is. And why wouldn't you buy a card a day for her? Because she's your lovey-dovey honey bunny pookie pie, you know? And she's perfect. And boys and girls, I got to tell you, this too is a season, and this will pass. All right? I mean, listen to Solomon and the woman that he loved. During this season, she says, listen, my lover, look, here he comes, leaping across the mountains, bounding over the hills. Can you picture this? I mean, this guy's in love. He's crazy in love right now, leaping and bounding. He's like Tom Cruise on Oprah. Remember when he was jumping up and down on the couch saying, I'm in love, right? He's divorced from her right now. But at that moment, he was jumping up and down on the couch saying, I'm in love, she's perfect. And then she says, my lover is like a swift gazelle or a young stag, which oddly is exactly what Kathy often refers to me as. What are you laughing about? I'm entirely serious right now. So watch this. Look, there he stands behind our wall, gazing through the windows, peering through the lattice. Now either he's a peeping Tom, Or he's playing peekaboo with her. He's being playful with her, let's say. My lover spoke and said to me, "Arise, my darling, my beautiful one, and come along with me. Let us arise and goeth out to dinner." So during this season, you think you're in love. You are not. You're in a shallow phase of infatuation, but you're laying the foundation for love. But realize it's just a season, and during this season you have to be incredibly careful to limit three things. First of all, limit your time together. What I mean is, don't abandon the rest of your life just for that one person. People stop going to work. They say, "Why do I need to work? I can live on love." Kids stop going to class. "Why do I need to go to chemistry class? I know all about chemistry. We've got it." Or they kiss their old friends goodbye, like, "Girlfriend, you were nice. You were there for me when I needed a friend, but now I got a man in my life, so mwah, see you later," right? Now, what you don't do is abandon the rest of your life to get absorbed in this one person. Love invites the other person into the totality of life. And you want to eventually have them meet your friends and family and get to know them in a variety of settings to see who they really are. So limit your time. You also limit your talk. When your heart starts to go pitter-patter and she looks so good and smells so good, everything in you wants to say, "I want to spend my life with you. I love you. I think you're absolutely the one for me." Now, how long have you known her? Like 30 minutes. This is crazy, right? What I'm saying is, don't let your emotions take you to a place you're not prepared to go. With your words, you're putting too much pressure on the relationship, and you have not yet built a foundation strong enough to endure the weight of those words. Take it slow. We limit our time, we limit our talk, and we limit our touch. You find yourself attracted to someone, and you're alone together, and she does this thing with her hair. You know what I'm talking about? And you want to reach out and touch someone. Your heart moves toward someone, and your hands want to follow. I'm saying slow down. Don't ramp up the relationship too quickly. It's kind of a lot like this. There was a little boy who found a little bird out in his backyard. So he picked up that bird and held it in his hands, and he was so excited. He said, "I've got to show Mom this." He went running back to the house. "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy, I found a baby bird." He opened up his hands to show her, and the bird was dead. He squished it. You're saying, happy ending to that story. Thank you for that motivational moment, Jeffrey. Well, listen, when you find yourself in the season of perfection in a relationship, when all the songs on the radio make sense, don't squish the bird. Don't put premature pressure on the relationship when God is still building the foundation. Take it slow. Limit your time, limit your talk, limit your touch. Solomon said it. There's a time and a season for everything. You're going to have a season of preparation. Embrace it. You're going to have a season of perfection. Enjoy it. And the third season is where it really gets good. The season of discovery. This is where the depth starts to emerge. Listen to Solomon. "My dove in the clefts of the rock, in the hiding places on the mountainside, show me your face. Let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet and your face is lovely." In other words, come out of hiding. Show me who you really are. Let me get to know you. Now, during this season of discovery, you're going to want to talk about two things. Two things. First of all, you'll want to talk about your past. What have you been through in life? What are some of the hurts that you've had? What shaped you in life? And then another question is no doubt going to be, what's your relational past and your sexual history? Hopefully you're going to say, "You know what? I have saved myself for you, and if we get married, boy, what a present I've got to give to you." Unfortunately for many of us, that ship has already sailed. So what do you say? Well, the Bible doesn't tell us directly, but my theory is this. The Bible does tell us not to lie. So be truthful. I would argue that someone can forgive your past mistakes easier than they can forgive your current deceit. Here's what I would advise, and hear me carefully. Tell the truth without a lot of details, because the devil seems to be in the details. They may want to press you. They may say, well, I want to know how many people and what their names were and. Just say, let's not go there. Because all that does is plant a lot of seeds of doubt that can grow later in the marriage. How do I measure up and what are you thinking about right at this minute? I would advise you to tell the truth, but don't get into the details if you can avoid it. So you talk about your past and what shaped you. The second thing, though, is you want to talk about your plans. Where are you going in life? Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? What are your dreams? What is your vision? Suppose you say, well, I want to live on a farm and grow my own food, and we're going to eat organic, and we're going to have like 8 kids, and we're going to homeschool those kids all the way through college, And then this guy you're dating is saying, well, I want to live in Manhattan and work on Broadway. Where's the future in this? That's why you want to talk openly about what your vision is for the future. Because if not, you're going to wind up with just a lot of frustration and resentment if that relationship gets serious and has nowhere to go. Talk openly about your dreams, how many kids you want, where would you like to live, all that kind of stuff. Talk about these things in the season of discovery. You want to build a solid foundation for the future. Now, I understand that some of you are just kind of sitting there this morning, you're staring at me, and you're thinking, boy, wow, have I messed up. You're sitting there, you're thinking, Jeff, you said that ship has sailed. Well, for me, I feel like that ship has sunk. Well, Solomon said, there's a time and a season for everything. And this is your time. This is your time to make a new beginning of things. You've been doing life your way, and this is a time to surrender and change course and say, no more. I want to do it your way, God. I don't want to live like the rest. I want the best. And no matter how bad you've messed up, there is no sin that God cannot forgive. There is no wound too deep for the Lord of life to heal. And there is no heart so cold that the risen Christ can't bring new life. This is your appointed time. This is the right time for you. So let's bow our heads now and pray together about this. And please pray for yourself and pray for those around you. Pray for people listening online and on the radio. Lord Jesus, here's our prayer. Lord, you said that you've come to this world to give us life in all its fullness. And that's what I want, and that's what we all want. And that's what we were created for. So, Lord, I ask you, bring new health and growth to our relationships. Help us find this love that you speak of. I ask for a season of blessing. And Lord, I pray for those who are married. Lord, strengthen them, bless them, help make their marriage everything that you envisioned it to be when you brought them together. Make their marriage even more than they envisioned when they were in the early stages of their relationship. And for those who have been hurt and let down and even devastated by a marriage that didn't work out, comfort and heal them. Bring them through the season of winter to a new spring. And Lord, I pray for those who are single. Lord, help them be completely happy and secure and complete and fulfilled in themselves. And then, if it's your will, may they meet just the right person at just the right time. Pray especially for all the teenagers and 20-somethings who flock to this church. Wow, Lord, there's so much good stuff ahead of them. Guard them, guide them, help them build their future on a godly foundation. Help them take the little bit of wisdom and encouragement offered here today and use it as a springboard to a great life. I ask all of this in the name of Jesus, the Lord of life. Amen. And we